This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome
This is
to
Chicago.
Chicago.
Doors open on the left
oh
at
my
Chicago.
goodness, this thing.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
I guess every time you log in, it stays on loop. But everybody, welcome to Chicago. Coming from the 606 Media Studios, this is the TCSF podcast with Big Z featuring JC Dynasty Fantasy Football in the house again. And no sweat, Serg is back from his small sabbaticals. And hopefully we get Stevie-B, who's also in fighting traffic. And, well, it's glad to have everybody back, get the band back together. Episode 182 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Go over there and pick up a shirt. Type in TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Get your shirts now. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or the X, hit that subscribe button. And if you're on your favorite podcast app, remember to give us a 5-star review. Remember, you can support the show with the monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go over there and click on support, and you can support for as little as 99 cents a month. What is up, fellas? What is going on?
How's it going?
And it's horrible out here, you know. It gets cold and it gets nice, and now I have to go in the office. I don't like it.
Oh, so you have a real job now.
I know, it feels like I'm not in the basement no more, so I can't hide out down here anymore.
Oh boy.
I was gonna say, coming from two guys that don't get to work from home,
Right.
Yeah, we don't feel any sympathy.
No,
I gotta do the 9-week training and then come back.
9 weeks. That's insane. Jesus. All right. Well, in this live episode, the Bears cut 2 veterans, and now it's time to evaluate what the number 1 pick is. Are they going to get the King's ransom? The Cubs and White Sox are a week away from spring training, but will either team sign an actual talent? So I wrote this before some stuff happened. So we'll get into who the Cubs sign in a little bit, and we'll do that all and some more. It's going to be an entertaining show. Lots of laughs, lots of stuff. But I mean, let's just start off with the Bears. I'm not even going to put the Bears sounder because it doesn't need a Bears sounder because there's not much news. JC, what's going on with the Bears?
The Bears cut 2 veterans this week. So, we cut Eddie Jackson and Coby White hair. Unfortunately for those particular players, writing was on the wall. So not much to be said there. Coby White hair, for the past couple seasons has been lackluster in his play and staying healthy.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, kind of since we paid Ejax, he hasn't really been very productive.
No,
so unfortunately, I know Ejax kind of hinted he would like to stay. But unfortunately, the Bears said, look, man, even if we reduce your salary, we don't see it working out. So that's $21 million in cap savings to go with the already near $50 million that we had, bringing us close to about 70 some odd million. Can't complain there.
I mean, you couldn't have a more perfect storm for the Chicago Bears to end up with the number 1 pick a year again, 1 year after last. And now we still have all this money to be able to spend on some free agents to shore up the offensive line, which is, I would say, number 1 would be the thing. Get some offensive help through tight end and through sorry, that's I'm the one with the phone on here. Through tight end, wide receiver, right? That would be, ideal. Pick up a running back in the draft in the later rounds, and then shore up the defense, right? Now that Ejax is out, who's going to slide over there? Is it going to be Stevenson?
No, I think we'll be looking to draft a safety. There's a gentleman, I think his name is Bullard or Bullock, in like the mid-second round, that I've kind of been targeting in some drafts. He's a true free safety, so ball hawk type of safety. So you bring him in. Like I said, I think that would be the perfect fit.
The thing is, we don't have a second rounder, sir.
Yes, but that's where we're gonna shake it up a little bit. We keep sitting here, whether or not we trade back at 9 or trade back at 1. I think one of the two picks will be traded back. And I think we'll pick up a second round from somewhere.
Yeah, I've been watching on ESPN because I had the day off today, and even the national media has no idea what the Bears are going to do, and everybody they interview is very split. Keep Justin and build around him, or go with Caleb because it's less of a cap hit, and you can still build around him. It just might take you a little longer. So it's very split down the middle, and then there's is it Drake May? Is it Caleb Williams? There's a lot of uncertainty, and right now I like that Poles is keeping everything close to the chest, and as he should, right? Right now we don't know if Justin Fields is going to get traded and what is his value. I know Atlanta's interested. Pittsburgh might be interested. But again, like if you're a team that's going to trade for Justin Fields, you're trading for that 1 year because then you have to pay him for the 5th-year option and beyond. So that's not a risk that an organization should be willing to take.
Yeah, for me, like I gotta say, it's one of those. You got to take a little bit of a risk. I've also brought up, at that 9 pick, possibly potentially taking, like trading back a little bit, taking the Penix, the Bo Nix,
Yeah.
one of those guys, even a JJ McCarthy, taking one of those guys. Say you trade back to 12, 13, 16, somewhere in there, and you can grab one of those guys. And then you sit there and go, hey, Justin, we're going to give you 1 more year. This is it. Prove it to us. Show us you're the guy. If not, we've potentially, like we picked your potential replacement.
Yeah.
If not, if you show us you're that guy, well, no harm, no foul, because these guys are kind of that second round talent quarterback. They're not the Drake May, they're Caleb Williams. They're kind of that second tier where, okay, maybe, like I said, they're your backup, or like I said, they're potentially your replacement. And like I said, we go from there and see what happens. I've said multiple weeks on this show, I am not against just drafting a quarterback until we get it right.
Yeah.
So like I said, whether or not it's Caleb Williams, whether it's JJ McCarthy, whether it's Penix, whether it's Bo Nix, to me, in polls we trust, hey, do your best, but like I said, I just keep watching that MHJ film, and it's just one of those where it's like, I'm not 100% sold on Caleb Williams, where, like I said, you go back and watch all of his film against some of the top defenses, and you sit there and go, man, like we're about to potentially draft this guy, and if he is another bust like Trubisky or one of these other guys, it sets us back again.
Yeah.
Potentially 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where it's like, I really want the Bears to almost not draft a quarterback and focus on building the team around, because again, like we can go pick up a Joe Flacco. Like you saw Cleveland, there are quarterbacks you can pick up off the street that are performing almost better than Justin Fields. So it's one of those where, I just sit here and it's like, why would we spend a top pick on Caleb Williams when there are guys on the street that can come in and put numbers on the board? So that's kind of how I feel about it. MHJ.
Serg just twitching. Go ahead, Serg. You twitching.
Man. First off, no, man, I'm gonna clean this up as best as I can. No Joe Flacco. No. Second off, I'm not against Caleb Williams. I'm not against us drafting Caleb anymore. But I'm more to the side of, I do agree with you where we should just go ahead and build around Fields. But if they're willing to pay us everything we want for that number 1 pick, let them do it. Screw it. We'll take it all. We'll trade back. I am with all of that. Here's where we go wrong. We don't develop anything, because my main conversation I have with my kids is that, and I always say my kids, right, because my boys are in their 20s, all 3 of them. I always say, we could have drafted Mahomes, right? We would have, could have, should have, blah. If he would have been in Chicago, it would have been a dumpster fire. we don't develop talent at the quarterback at all. We are a defensive city. Every time we come around, our defense always gets better, right? Our defense got better again. So, yes, their main concern is that Mahomes, he does well. He made that team better. He did the most with nothing, right? He didn't really have any great offensive weapons out there, and he made the most out of nothing. All right, that's a very good point. But it's Chicago. It's still a Chicago team where we do not develop quarterbacks. We do not develop offense. We don't do anything great when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. It's always defense. So I am with JC. Trade back. Get as many things as you can. Big Z said it best, where you're going to go ahead and get the king's ransom. Get as much as you can, because right now, if we can get that defense running, offense just manage. We just need we need a game manager, because that's all we've had for years.
So then you're going to look like San Francisco.
Well,
where you're not going to have a quarterback that can win you the Super Bowl game.
Well, here's the thing. San Francisco went almost there. They shot themselves in the foot, right? They could have won it. They didn't win it. They went to overtime. And they went to overtime with who? Who was their quarterback?
With that good defense, who was being held. I rewatched the Super Bowl with no sound, and I was looking at the lines, and they were being literally bear hugged, and then they would just drop on the floor and just hold the guys down. There was a lot of cheating, and I'm going to say that was the Taylor Swift effect, because holy baloney, that Taylor Swift money that came into the NFL. They're like, oh no, Patrick Mahomes is going to win it again. We can't let this young kid do it. It was nasty. If you watch that Super Bowl all over, no sound, just watch the play by play, and you will see so much holding that was not called on KC. So
we are a defensive city all day, all night. Don't care what anybody says. We are a defensive city. We've always done it.
Why can't we change the narrative?
We can change the narrative, but we never do.
I have a feeling the Bears will change the narrative this offseason if we get another pass rusher, which now that we have $70 million,
it's happening.
Pay Jalen Johnson, go get yourself a Daniel Hunter or a Brian Burns, get another stud, pass rusher on the other side. Like I said, with that 9th pick, if you shore up your pass rush, then boom, there's your perfect chance. If you sign one of these top free agents to be a pass rusher, okay, now we don't need to spend number 9 on a pass rusher, correct? So now we can trade back, and that's where we pick up, like I said, we trade back into the 15-16 range. Boom, there's our 2nd round pick that we can then focus on getting a safety. Plus, we can also get a corner that could be our 3rd nickel, Y formation, because let's be honest, the Packers are running 3 wide receiver sets, so we need a solid 3 corners. So we already got Jalen Johnson, we already got Stevenson. We've been using I think it was Terrell Smith as the nickel.
Yeah, there's guys there that are doing very well.
Yeah, but like I said, if we can pick up a Cooper DeJean or one of these guys that are, Kool-Aid McKinstry or, one of these top corners, to me, like, that would shore up the secondary above and beyond, because now we're talking, we got Bullock at safety, then we got Brisker at, strong safety. We've shored up all 3 cornerback spots. Our linebackers are set with, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the white linebacker, Edmonds and TJ Edwards, but I can't think of the white linebacker who was a stud, last year. But again, linebacker is set. Then you're sitting there like, if we sign a defensive end, like, our defense would be nasty. So
who replaces White here?
Coby White, you're gonna draft.
Most likely we're gonna draft somebody, and that's why I say at 9 we're most likely gonna trade back, or at 1 we're gonna trade back, so that we can get the assets to find one of those centers in the 2nd round.
what team do you think is willing to give up all of that just for it? Because it's going to go either way. We're either going to get Caleb or we're going to get what we want for that number.
What you need to do is you need to make the Commanders think that the Packers, or I'm sorry, not the Packers, the Patriots really want that number one. Because if you can convince the Commanders that the Patriots are willing to jump them to have the number one pick, then that drives up the market. So right now it is all show and smoke that we are trying to convince these two teams that, hey, one of the two of you is going to jump the other. So you might want to move up with us one spot and give us
you might have somebody in the middle of the draft trying to jump up.
Yeah, you have like teams like the Raiders, you have teams even Atlanta. Like Atlanta, I think Atlanta's at 7. I mean, Atlanta is another potential one, but for the Bears, I really don't think you want to move that far back. Even if they offer you the Godfather package, to me, moving back to 7 is just too far. You could still end up with one of the top 3 tackles, but at that point, like, we don't really need a tackle. We need interior guard and we need center. So it's unless you're going to move Braxton Jones inside, which you really don't want to do because the dude's like 6'5". You want your guards to be like 6'3", 6'4" at most, so that your quarterback can actually see where they're throwing. So it's brutal. It's like I said, in polls I trust, because if it were up to me, I'd be all over the place. I've done some mock drafts where I just like, sure, you want me to trade back to 7? Sure. You want me to trade back to 13? Sure. You want me to trade back to 16? Sure. And I just keep moving back, and just accumulating as many picks as I can.
I don't trust no polls. Polls said we was gonna take over the North and never give it back, man. I'm still waiting for that.
It's time, man.
I'm quoting.
Listen, you can say that, but you
I know.
I mean, he drafted 3 starters last year in Dexter, Darnell Wright, and Tyreek Stevenson. I mean, that is a great draft if you have 3 starters drafted in the same draft.
Right.
I'm not talking role players. I'm not talking special teams. I'm talking they are on the field like 80% of the plays. Like, that is fantastic of a draft. So, like I said, I give him a little credit. Has he made mistakes, moving off of number 2 for Chase Claypool and some of this stuff? Yes, he's made mistakes, but at the same time, he also traded Chase Claypool and got some capital out of him in return from, I think it was Miami. And what did Claypool do in Miami?
Nothing.
So the fact that he was able to even weasel a 5th or 6th or whatever it was out of Miami for Claypool, with the way that it fell apart, I give the man credit for that, because if I were any other team, I would have been like, cut him and I'll pick him off waivers.
Serg, I want to just make this clear to you. This is the only GM that is making moves in the city.
That's fine. I'm still gonna hold him to it. We gonna
I'm
take
just saying,
over the North and never give it back.
The Bulls, which we'll get to later, have been sitting on their hands for 3 years, with their thumb stuck up, where.
I want to take over the North. I want it now.
Okay, well, that's going to be hard with...
gentlemen, it's been a minute, but you both are wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. Letting you guys banter for a bit. Here's the thing. What have we been missing in the city for the Bears for a long time? A quarterback, right? Serge, we passed up on Mahomes. We did. And right, if we pass up on Caleb and he does really well, we're going to be like, oh, man, we did it again. Right. And then if Caleb starts, sucking, right, then the fans are going to be screaming out Justin Fields. And I guarantee you, if we go 0-3, 0-4, they're going to be chanting Justin Fields. But you know what? Pittsburgh goes over here saying that they want Fields. Well, who'd they just release? Who wants to have another homecoming? my boy Mitch Trubisky, come on back, be a third.
All right, you're cut off.
And have Caleb,
Where's
have
audio?
Tyson Bagent, and then have Mitch back. Because again, you could still wear number 10 again. It's not going to be a waste. But
Give me
yeah,
Peyton over
we've
Trubisky
been
any day.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Well,
the
we've
mute
been missing a
button.
quarterback.
Sorry,
here,
did someone say the name of?
It starts at MT, but anyway,
as you can hear.
it's, but yeah, I'm just gonna say that, and then because we never had a quarterback here, so go get out, just go and get.
We went to the Super Bowl with Orton.
Oh, that was well.
It was. I want to drove you all the way down there, and then they put you in
the last
Super
really good
Bowl.
one we had was Jay Cutler, if you want to say that, if that.
That's true.
So,
That's
the missing piece, yeah, you could always get the defensive pieces and trade and get stuff in the later rounds, but again, go get the best talent that you can. I mean, I don't want to be.
I'm still stuck on you. You can bring the best talent in Chicago, just for whatever reason. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Offensive side, we don't do. Mahomes has thrived where he is at because of the system they got and
Matt Nagy, right?
It's
yeah, totally.
Oh, I can't do this anymore.
2 rings, man. 2 rings. That's you know what? He's may not be a great coach, but he is a great offensive coordinator. So,
man, he's getting Rita's nuggies.
Stop.
Yeah, he just holds the clipboard there and gets people.
He's holding the menu.
Hey, man, I'll hold that menu for that pay. I mean, I'll hold that burger for Andy Reid so he could eat it from me. But yeah, I don't know. I just think, with all that, with Justin, I mean, I don't want us to ever question whether if Caleb or Drake May or any of these guys did really well. I mean, the last time draft class was this great was Roethlisberger, Rivers.
Roethlisberger?
Yeah, Roethlisberger, whatever. And Phillip Rivers and who else was in there? Eli, I believe. JC, you want to correct me on that one?
Eli Manning? What do we?
Yeah, so 3 of those were in the draft class. So I mean, you could strike gold.
Yeah, years ago, you had.
Yeah, that was like a good, strong quarterback.
Yeah, it was like Phillip
class.
Rivers. Yeah, there was a bunch of them. Yeah.
And yeah, so you might have that in this class. So I mean, take what talent is there and run with it.
Well, but I mean, that's the argument I've been making is that there's potentially 6 quarterbacks that could be eventually starters in the league. Again, we're talking Caleb, Drake May, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and JJ McCarthy. So you have 6 quarterbacks that could potentially be starters. There is no reason for you to take a potential quarterback at 1 when you could take one at 15 in JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix or Penix, because those guys seem to be slipping a little bit right now. So again, if you're not sold on Justin Fields, you take that quote unquote what's a position under a consigliere? You want to take that consigliere package, not the Godfather package, right? So again, you move from 1 to 2. You might get 2 firsts and 2 seconds. You may not get that 3rd first, right?
I mean, yeah, so, I'm okay with that too. I mean, at the same time,
like I said, you still end up with an MHJ who potentially, all things, God forbid, he could be a Pro Bowler like Jamar Chase year 1. Yeah, because he's got the pedigree, he's got the training by his father. Every scout out there has said that this kid at 6'4" runs a 4.4 and has hands, and he's just one of those prospects. So
he is a sure thing.
Right, the closest quarterback to a sure thing,
right? With the quarterback being like, they can be a bust. We don't know. We don't know.
Trevor Lawrence is like one of the very few that's that was 1st round pick. That's pretty good.
And so like wide receivers, it's hard to do that with the number 1 pick or top 5 pick to get a bust. at wide receiver. So
Don't get me. It does happen. Kevin
it's
White.
right. Yeah. Well, we all know who drafted that guy, and he's no longer.
But like I said, to me, I would take that lesser package. Like I said, a first this year, a first next year, 2 seconds, and I would happily draft MHJ, and then turn around next year and take a tackle, take whatever you need.
Keep
next
sure
year.
the offensive and defensive lines.
Well, the biggest thing is just keep building those blue chip prospects.
Yep.
Like just keep building on top of those like guys that you don't want to pay. Like whether it be corner or edge or whatever, that are the most expensive positions in the game that you do not want to pay. That's what you're doing. You're building the draft capital. And even next year, if we get a first from Washington, we turn around next year and say, hey, who wants it? And we sell it again and get more future firsts. So again, it's that constant like for me, it's just sell it and build and build and build.
I'm just thinking if we got the first round draft pick 3 years in a row and we get rid of it, I don't know what that says about us.
Well, let me tell you this. There is no quarterback that you want next year. The quarterback class next year is god awful. So if you're going to take a quarterback, it better be this year.
Or if you don't, go get Joe Flacco in 2 years. So,
the man had a resurgence.
I'm not disappointed. I love Joe.
He had more yards than just.
Yeah, definitely.
In about 13 less games.
Right. Yep. The old man can throw. It's just I don't think our offensive line, as it's put together right now, would have been able to protect.
No.
It would have been old man Flacco
with a cane at the end of the line.
He would have been at Rush Hospital getting his spleen taken out. It would have been screaming. All right. On that note, we'll be right back with more of the loop after a word from our
retired. Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15. TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to No War on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z. JC Dynasty over here, tearing it up last segment. Stevie-B with the levity with his Roethlisberger comments.
Sorry. It's Monday, and it's Monday, so that's all I gotta say. But yeah, new episode is out. It's Normal Mistakes. No War on the Weekend. And Jose was actually a guest this week. So
right. I derailed the entire podcast.
Like always.
Like always.
JC, I heard you had some beef with sponsoring the show here.
Well, I mean, when you miss how many weeks in a row? I mean,
two. It was two.
Excuse me while I
I know too many, but yes.
There we go.
Drinking water on the weekday, and I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm drinking water.
Not me. Twisted.
Yeah. All right, let's go over to the Madhouse on Madison and let's talk some Chicago Bulls. No representation at the All-Star game. Not that it mattered because it was literally Serg, you're muted, sir. There you go. Welcome to the show.
We did have one. We have Benny the Bull there.
Oh, the most important one. Yeah, he was the best mascot. But yeah, Coby White was supposed to be the comeback player of the year. along with White from Boston. I forgot what the other player is that's running for it. And it looks like they might be wasting his spectacular season. He's up like 4 to 5 points on average for his career versus this year. His 3-point percentage is up by like 4 as well, 4 percentage points. I feel like they're wasting it by not making any moves at the deadline. You know, they felt like, oh, we can still win. No, you can't. You will be an 8 or a 9 seed, if that. If you have no more energies.
Are you talking Coby White? But he didn't start off the year very strong. This kicked in maybe about December, middle of December
when Zach LaVine got injured the first time.
Yeah,
and he had to take over the point guard duties and the scoring duties.
Yeah, but all those votes, you know, the celebrity votes and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
that already started kicking in December, so he wasn't going to get in. I mean, this is being honest. But
no,
I would have liked to see him.
It's very hard heavy in the East, so I didn't expect him to be like, you know, starting, but I would have been nice to him to replace somebody. But then you got the kid from New York, Jalen Brunson, that didn't get in either, right?
He did. He was playing last night.
Yeah, he was playing last night.
He was supposed to be a starter. He should have been a starter because he has the numbers for it, but he didn't get that. Again, I just feel like they're wasting this kid's potential and they're wasting this the kid's energy, time. I know we just re-signed him, but there's no one there. Vooch literally disappears now that they're doing the 2 big man rotation with him and Andre Drummond, because Andre Drummond is a dog. He'll get the rebounds. He'll put the putbacks. The problem is that he has some butter hands. Like he hits him dead in the chest. He just drops the ball for some odd reason. And Vooch is just staying on the perimeter. I'm like, we don't need you on the perimeter, brother. We need your 7-foot big booty over there by the rim so you can grab some rebounds, because there's no one that rebounds on this team. Like everyone just chucks it up and runs away right away. You are not Steph Curry. That is not your game.
They just look at the ball when it's shot. That's the issue. And it drives me nuts.
And they don't run back. This team does not run back on defense, and that's why they get taken advantage all the time. So, I mean, I feel bad for Coby because he's doing everything that he can to will this team. I think DeMar is just being a professional. He's like, I'm just going to do whatever I do, which is 15 to 20 points and 4 assists, and I don't need to take over a game. You know, he doesn't feel like that.
I also feel like he was being, you know, polite and saying that he wanted to stay here.
He wanted to go to New York.
I know, but there was somewhere, I believe, I don't know if it was Comcast Sportsnet, that said that, you know, he kind of wouldn't mind staying if he was given the opportunity. So
no, I'm good.
You know,
first of all, they didn't make the move and they didn't get any assets for him. So now you're losing him for nothing, which is the most dumbest thing. We just talked.
I agree.
25 minutes of Bears talk about, all right, you got to get something for something here because you're going to lose them. And the Bulls don't do that. The Bulls let these guys walk for no reason, and then they'll go sign some idiot like Zach LaVine, give him the max contract. And then he's like a prima donna. Like, I'm hurt, my feet hurt. Oh, I don't want to get traded to Detroit, so I'm gonna have surgery on my foot. That's what that was. He didn't want to get traded to Detroit. So he's like, well, I'm just gonna do a Scottie Pippen. And like, oh, I'm gonna take care of it in season now.
Yeah.
So
well, you know, you can't win them all, right? So
well, the Bulls can't win anything. That's a problem.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. Definitely, this team isn't. It's, you know, again, Coby White's been doing really well, like you said. I just, if their potential is to get 8th or 9th seed, I mean, it's better than last year. But
to get killed.
Yeah, you know, but the whole point is to sell tickets, man. See red, bro. Like, get people in the building. And if I'm looking at the glass half full, I'm going to say that if they make the playoffs or the play-in or whatever, it'd be cool to see. And, you know, maybe after that, the team will spend more money in free agency. And I don't know, maybe it's well, I know I'm just being optimistic here. You know,
which is great.
Look who the father is, you know? So, geez. I swear.
They won't make any moves until people stop going to these games. It happened with the baby Bulls when they did the turnover after the Michael thing. People stopped going. They're like, all right, we got to spend a little bit of money now. Mm-hmm. And that's all it has. That's what you have to do. The problem is that everyone's having a great time watching this team lose.
Actually, I'm going the 27th. So
yeah. Eat some popcorn from Benny. How about that?
I'm getting it off his tail. Popcorn juice. Yeah. So I mean, Yeah, but I am going the 27th. But again, I'm going because of the fantastic merch, the overpriced beer, and the fun atmosphere of cheering on Coby. So, could be worse. I don't. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna have fun regardless. I'm watch the team, but I don't know. I just feel like this team has the heart and could do it, but I mean, I just feel like they're just not all fully there sometimes.
I wait for
quarter they are not there. They
I'm
disappear
there
right in the fourth
on
quarter.
that game, but they're probably not physically. I mean, I
By
don't know.
20 and losing the fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, Vooch. I think Vooch is checked out. I think everyone else plays pretty hard, and you see Io, throwing himself to go get the ball and stuff like that. So, I mean, everyone's playing hard. I know some of the younger rookies are there proving themselves and trying to be part of the team. I think DeMar's being a class act. Vooch, I don't know who's going to want him because he's not selling himself to be picked up by anyone.
He still has 1 more year with us. So
I was gonna say he's on a couple-year contract, so he doesn't need to sell himself.
He doesn't need to sell himself because he'll be here next year. Guarantee he'll be here next year.
I mean, yeah, and the whole Lonzo Ball thing. I think
Lonzo Ball wait till he gets healthy and they'll trade him because there's no.
And then he's gonna score like 40 points a night. So
100% he will. 100%. Go do that.
You know what? At this point, I think it's like the complete opposite. I think AK has like dug his heels into where it's just like now he's like, no, I'm going to wait for Lonzo to come back and hope to God that what I put together was what I hoped it would be from the beginning, minus DeMar DeRozan. So you'll have Coby, Levine, Vooch, and Lonzo out there on the court, and he's going to hope that Lonzo can bring the floor general aspect that we have been lacking for since he got hurt.
Aren't they trying to sign DeRozan to a long-term contract or something?
I hope they
yeah,
don't.
but they're pretty far apart from all.
Oh my God.
Which I mean, DeMar has said he would like to stay, and not to transition to a different segment, but it's kind of like the Cubs. Bellinger claims he wants to stay, but
don't want to pay.
Exactly, it's money talks and players walk. So if we're not willing to shell out the money, then it doesn't matter what a player says that they want to do because
but nobody else wants Bellinger. So I mean, and we're going to segue that way.
I just right now. Before we get there, because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, before we turn
a lot to talk about baseball, but Steven, is there any? Oh, he's about to just leave this mother. I was gonna say
we are not promoting his channel anymore.
That's right. You can't even hear us anyways.
The disrespect.
I was gonna give him his flowers for talking some hockey, but Connor Bedard is back on the west side. And I was going to go to our hockey reporter, Steven Batista, to talk about Connor Bedard.
Well, guys, it hasn't been looking that great. I will be going this Friday to the UC to go see them play.
Got some money.
Actually, I want to shout out my mom. She got the tickets, and I'm going on her dime because she got them for free. But I'm excited to go. I got to look who they're playing. But you know what? Right now they're losing to the Hurricanes 4-1.
4-1.
So it doesn't look that good. Connor's been, playing with that full gear for his head, for his jaw, but he still plays. They won on Saturday 3-2, but then Penguins on Friday, last week, Thursday, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 2-1. Yeah, it's just, not looking so good right now at the United Center. But yeah, I don't know. There's not really much to talk about besides Connor. I mean, he's still doing his job and playing, but, I would still be cautious about his jaw, him getting hurt again. He's a young kid, so I can relate to being a young kid. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say with them. They're not really looking so good, and there's some injuries and.
Yeah, let's be honest. We were all looking forward to that losing streak that we were on when Bedard was out. And now that he's back, he's already ruining things by scoring 2 goals against Ottawa. So the kid needs to settle down and just relax and understand that by continuing the losing in the long run, it helps him.
Yes.
So someone needs to convince him to just settle down. We we understand like our team is not up to par. We're getting crushed every night, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 6-0. Like, it's never a very pretty game. So, like I said, the more we lose, the better we are in the long run. So,
well, they're not going to lose on this Friday because I'm going to be there. And if you want to buy me a beer this Friday, I'm sitting in section. I'm just kidding. I don't know yet. But you can still buy me a beer. I'll put my Venmo on the screen after the show and, or say it, whatever. But yeah, it's not a good time. I could still wear the merch. I told Jose to clip Mike Myers and Kanye West. I don't know what movie it is, but I sent it to him. It's like Kanye and Mike Myers are like, "I love hockey," and it was just a great clip. And that's what makes me think of anytime I go to the game or I watch them. So,
yeah, right before we came on, it was the Kanye and Coby commercial where like Kanye's like, "What is Coby talking about?" It's like the complete opposite of like where nobody usually knows what Kanye is trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's
you got to be the same animal, but a different beast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, did this man just out Kanye?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
There we go. We're talking some baseball now.
Oh yes, let's do it.
I'm ready for some baseball. All right, let's go over to Wrigley and talk some Chicago Cubs news. No Belly yet. I know we alluded to it, but the Ricketts have made a statement about Boris saying that he will not get involved in negotiations because that's the job of the GM. He doesn't want to undermine his GM. Boris is saying, you know what? Our offer has been sitting on the table. You haven't said anything about this offer. We ain't going to talk unless you talk about this offer that's on the table. Essentially, what he's saying is we're going to play chicken and you're going to lose because my client wants his $200 million for a long-term deal. We don't want to do a 1 or 2 year deal. The ball's in your court, Cub fans.
Well,
it's not up to me because I would have just gave him $200 million. Okay,
I'm not giving him $200 million, but they did go sign from the Dodgers. I think David and
Peralta,
right?
Yeah, so it's
he's another. The term is old head, right, of the baseball league.
He is a little older.
He's 36 years old.
Yeah,
but he's a consistent player. He's very consistent, and I don't have any bad words about him because I think he's actually really good for the locker room, and he's good on the field. He does his job and he goes home. I mean, what else can we ask for, right?
It's an insurance policy to have another outfielder, and he'll be coming off the bench. He won't be playing much, but he's a sure professional, and you'll be good with that. I mean, he's good.
He'll cover off days and be one of those guys that'll be perfect to fill in.
Do you think he takes? Okay. Do you think the signing affects Bellinger though?
No, not at all.
I don't think so either.
You're filling out your bench. And
what was the contract, like $4 million or $3 million? It was not much.
It's just nickels and pennies,
Yeah, for the Ricketts, it is.
Yeah, nickels and pennies. $200 million. That's like a down payment on a nice Toyota Kia. Big deal. Show me the money. I want to see the money, Ricketts. I want to see it. Man. I want to see the GM just throw a bunch of money on the table.
Nope. I am standing with the Cubs organization and the Ricketts saying, "Hey, Scott Boras, come talk to us because $200 million, obviously, not only with us, but every other team in the league is not flying. So come talk to us. We want Bellinger back. We want him to play for us, but it's not going to be at $200 million. It'll be, 3 years. I don't know, like."
Maybe 98.
What would be 20? At this point, I don't even know what a going salary per year for a decent player is in MLB. Is it 20 million, 25 million?
Yeah, it's around that ballpark. But he wants that 40 million a year, and he's not at that superstar.
No,
status.
And to me, like I said, if would 3 years, $120 million do it? I don't know, 4 years, 160. But like I said, I don't know that we're reaching that 200 million for, however many years he was looking for. So again, it's somebody's got to play ball here. And like I said, unfortunately, the Cubs have shown that, hey, we're going to wait you out. And like no other team is approaching you at all. So you can come talk to us and we can come to an agreement, or, you may not be signed till week 2 or 3.
I don't think it goes that far. I think it gets done during spring training. Speaking of playing ball, free agent first baseman Don Smith and the Cubs are in agreement with a minor league contract for $3.5 million, including incentives. So there's your first baseman and your outfielder. So they just signed 2 players, 2 positions that Bellinger plays. So you're talking about they're
okay. You get positions, but you're talking also about bat. So
oh no, Don Smith can't hit a worth a lick. He can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. I mean, his highest was 254.
Right.
So
you got people filling in the holes, but you're corking the holes. You're not actually putting concrete for these potholes out here.
He's been it's not the rat hole. He's been a pretty much a journeyman at this point, where he's just filling in, and he's been a project of many teams, including the Nationals. Again, they're just putting bodies in there, and they're gonna say, "Well, spots are filling up. If you don't sign, we're good."
Yeah,
I'm not good.
The same thing JC said. Nobody else is putting anything on the table for him.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was gonna be like this hot commodity out there, where everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, he did so well last year. We're gonna go and pick him up." Even I thought one time the Dodgers were interested in bringing him back, but then they
don't have the money.
They got. What do you mean they don't got the money?
They defer everything.
Right.
We'll pay him in 20 years.
Defer. Right.
Defer.
You're gonna have my wife with the deal.
I defer.
Yeah, that's apparently what the organization is willing to give to get people to go over there. I guess I don't know. I mean,
sounds like you're hating.
Yeah, the Cub in me, the diehard in me, just says pay the man.
If the Cubs would have done that, you guys would be all.
I wouldn't. You know what? He did really well. He pay the man. He deserves his bag. But I don't know
why. LA's looking for a way to close that loophole, obviously, because he's going to be not paying millions of dollars to the city. I mean, this is
well, that's going to go to court. That's going to go to court.
Yep.
So California is one of the most expensive places to live, and they're expensive about everything. So they want their money, and they'll make sure that they put a court case in there. And we're like, no,
a couple of $100 million that they're going to be out because he deferred all that money. It's really bad. So they're looking for where the closest loophole. But the Dodgers, man, they found the loophole.
Yeah, but you can't blame the Dodgers. You have to blame MLB, and they should go after MLB. They left the contract open like that. That's between the CBA and MLB, who left it open like that. So you go after MLB, who allows that.
And they did it for 2 players. They did it for 2 players this season.
Why not? Why not?
It's insane.
It's open. Any other team could have done the same thing.
Okay, let's do it to Cody.
You're good. You're good. But the problem is that Cody, they view as Cody is getting hurt every year. Like he's had a problem with injuries, and that's been his issue. So, yes, you had a bounce back year. Can you do it again and again and again? And you haven't proven to do that. After your World Series spectacular year, you fell off for 2 years. Then you were hurt. So that's what they're looking at. You're looking at his history as a whole. So, all right. Anything else on the Cubs?
I just can't wait till it starts. So
next week, Cub Sox, the 23rd.
Is that
spring training though? It doesn't count. I know you'll count it.
No, that's probably the only time we'll get some wins. No, I'm not counting that.
Oh, in spring training, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the only time the Sox are going to get any wins. All right, speaking of the White Sox,
you gotta play it for me.
Agreed to a minor league contract with Brian Shaw, which includes an invitation to big league. They also came to a contract agreement with Mike Moustakas. Jesus Christ. Let's see.
That's fun to say, Moustakas.
It is fun to say. He's 35, hitting 247 with 12. This is just embarrassing, the stuff that we're signing over here. It's just
Is it
I
as
can't-
embarrassing as a billionaire asking for billions of dollars
I was
in
getting to that.
taxpayer money?
I was getting to the White Sox. Jerry Reinsdorf is preparing to ask Governor Pritzker and other state leaders for roughly $1 billion in public money to build his team in the South Loop. So a lot of this money is coming from the hotel tax and kind of renegotiating the bonds that were still in place to pay the last stadium, which is still being paid off. So essentially, all that money that's already in bonds would be going to this new stadium. And so, yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not.
No, you shouldn't allow it to happen. When you had Ricketts put in, was it $775 million of their own money to buy all that stuff around Wrigley and beautify Wrigley Field and get it ready. You know what? I can respect that. But if you haven't paid off your own building, which is you don't even own, you're renting it and you're getting free rent. And you want another building with a garbage team and expect the governor to be like, yeah, sure, we'll give you some money.
Well, I mean, the hotel tax, pretty much they're giving it to letting people stay in hotels right now for free. So you're not getting any money for those hotels at the moment. I don't know if whatever you guys are, if you catch my drift here. I know we're not going into politics here, but, I'm just saying. But they're not going to get a new stadium. They're not. And they're projected to have 0 chance of winning the playoffs this year. So that's hilarious.
0.00000.
That is hilarious. That made my day.
You could house a lot of migrants with $1 billion.
Oh boy.
You could do a lot with $1 billion. You could take off my student loans for that matter.
Next segment.
You could fix the potholes in Chicago. You could fix the bridges. You could get the spray paint off the bean. There's a lot of money. Things you could do.
Oh, did you hear about the Cubs are in the running for, I think it's 27 or 28 for the All-Star game?
Yep. All-Star game, yeah.
2027 or 2028 will be one of the 2 years for the Cubs.
What are they going to do with Home Run Derby? Because that one's going to be ridiculous.
Yes, it's going to be. I want to go to the home run. I don't care about the All-Star game. I want to be outside Wrigley Field on the Waveland Avenue.
I bet you I'm going to catch more balls than you.
I'll go.
I bet you would, Mr. Halston.
That's not true, but I have a bigger mitt than you. So,
I don't know where we're going with this.
I don't know. I was just throwing stuff against the wall, making it stick.
For everybody to know.
Yeah.
No water on the weekend. Talk. I don't want to hear it.
Be sure to listen to the show every month. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it just I don't know. With the All-Star game, that'd be pretty cool. I'd go. I'd say outside.
Yeah, I definitely would.
I'd get all the merch too. Jose would get the merch too.
Yeah, they get my own team. I'll get some Dodger merch.
Okay, I wasn't saying that, but I was saying Cubs stuff because you're a Chicago guy. So,
listen, any man with 2 teams is, questionable.
Yeah,
it's smart.
It's like you don't have a dark side.
It's smart. That's all that is. It's smart.
Yeah. Oh, smart spending money on 2 teams. Yeah,
Smart also being like heartbroken by 2 teams, not just one.
Sir, I'm a Chicago fan. I'm heartbroken by all of our teams. What are you talking about?
Hence why I put that boot on that Chicago.
I swear, like I'm just hoping, like, with all the money that the Dodgers have spent, that they just have one of the worst seasons ever.
Oh, see, nothing but haters. Nothing but haters.
I agree with JC.
Okay
I hope that they
JC.
do well, but they don't get the playoffs. So,
with the team they have, I don't see a way that they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I would love to see them out in one of the rounds,
or they
New York
lose
Yankee
before they go to the World Series, a Game 7.
I would love to see like an Oakland take them out in the playoffs.
Oh my God! First of all, Oakland really.
I know they're a bad team, but still, like, I love the underdog. Like, we spent how many billions of dollars, and it's like you got taken out by the guy spending $500,000.
Oh, like
they're not even going to leave Oakland now.
Yeah, look at the Yankees. They spent all that money to do nothing.
Well, they had everybody hurt. Every one of the pitchers was hurt.
That's fabulous. Still spent a lot of money to have everybody hurt. Nothing. I'm okay with it.
If we're talking about great posters and stuff, if you saw the White Sox social media post today with their team that they have constructed on that flyer, it's pretty funny. So,
Wait, what team?
White Sox.
No, I know.
So, if that's your selling point,
It should just be Luis Robert and Dylan Cease on that poster. That is it. No one else should be in that poster.
Yep.
All right, it's simple as that. There's two actual major leaguers on that team, and that is it.
I know a couple of people. I know one person that works for the charity section for the White Sox, and it's like, imagine the social media team and how they have to scramble to put stuff together. That's a hard job. I got to tell you, that's a hard one. Same thing with Bears social media. That's a hard one, especially putting a loss after each one.
At least
and then you have people rip it.
There's optimism with the Bears. There's optimism with the Blackhawks because there's like a direction of where they're going.
All
The
they gotta do
Bulls
is
and the
take the
White
boot
Sox
off.
stuck in the mud, right? They're not going anywhere.
Take the
right?
boot off.
Yeah,
That's all they gotta do.
Pay your tickets and get the boot off.
Get the boot off. You are in your own way. Take the damn boot off. That's why that picture is on there. That meme is on there for a reason. We're on our own goddamn way.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're gonna take another quick break, and when we come back, we are gonna do Stirring a Pot, JC Howard edition, because now we got all the full guys here. So he's gonna give them the question and put them in a hot seat. So we'll be right back.
I actually got some Oreos that I was gonna show.
Oh, we can show those
Nobody
too.
cares about your Oreos.
Right,
I got
so
a question.
All right, boys. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z, JC, Donnie, Steve, No Sweat, Serg, and Stevie-B in the house. And it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what time it is. It is time for Stirring the Pot. Oh, JC, take it away, baby. Take it away.
I would love to take it away, but Steven's currently having some fun on his cushion seat. So I don't know if I should wait.
He's catching somewhere, because he takes a lot of balls. He can catch a lot of balls.
Oh, there he is. He shows back up on screen.
Sorry, I had to go to the John.
Yeah, we know you. You have a love obsession with your cushion seat. Okay.
Oh, lots of balls.
I actually got a new one,
John.
I got a new one.
Cushion.
Yeah, it's nice. It's comforting.
New cushion?
Yeah, it's Clorox. Clorox has a new toilet seat.
Wow.
Brand new, fresh off the line, freshly wrapped. I had Maria inspect it herself. It's going to be great.
Wrong show.
All right. So the Stirring the Pot question, which you guys were not here for the last 2 weeks, because this has been an ongoing conversation now for 2 weeks. It started with, what was the worst birthday gift you have ever received?
Tampons.
I'm
kidding.
Was that your worst? Was that your worst? We'll save that for no water on the weekend.
Then that led to the second question, which was last week, which is, could you, as a sports fan of a particular team, if your significant other purchased you a jersey of an opposing team and an opposing player, could you wear it to your team's game versus said other team because it was bought for you by your significant other?
Hell no.
So, for example,
she knows better.
For example, if your girlfriend bought you a Vikings Brett Favre jersey, would you wear that jersey to a game as a Bears fan because you're like, baby, I feel terrible that you bought me this, but at the same time, I don't want to make you feel horrible. So therefore, I will wear this and be made fun of constantly by every single fan in the building.
Okay, I have a question
I
for
love,
that.
but it ain't gonna happen.
So just before you guys answer, this is different because they were just dating. All right. They had just started dating for a little bit rather than Serg, who's been married.
You ain't get it yet. That's why. So you gonna put the jersey on?
No.
Here, baby. I love you.
No, it was the year that Brett Favre and Peyton Manning were going off in fantasy, where both of them had what was it, like 35 touchdowns that season, and I was going nuts because it was my fantasy team, and obviously I'm crushing people, with Peyton Manning and Brett Favre, and the girlfriend had overheard me talking about Brett Favre and Peyton Manning, so she had bought me a Brett Favre jersey. And then it was like, oh, by the way, I also got us tickets to go to the Vikings Bears game. And then you're sitting there going, shit, I got to wear this, don't I? Like, cause like you're not trying to hurt her feelings and be like, hell no, I ain't wearing this shit. So you got to swallow your pride.
So yeah, I would be. So there's all. If I'm in Minnesota and we're at that game, fine.
No. You are wearing this to Soldier Field, sir.
At home, yeah.
At home. I want to defer and say a different sport.
I got the flu.
Listen, because if
the dog just ate the jersey, oh shit, what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to, if I got
fire accidentally, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened to it.
This gift was given to me on Christmas Eve, and I think the game was Christmas Day, or it was like within like 2 or 3 days.
I can't find it.
Well, isn't that the game that Cutler did amazing?
No, we lost to the Vikings.
Yeah. I would have worn it.
Man,
I mean, I'd wear one now.
Where's the mute button?
But like I was wearing like a Bears scarf and a Bears winter hat, and every single fan was like, "Look at this boy, he's confused."
Yeah, I mean, I would do it. I would.
Even one of my
family member,
especially with the team we have now, or come with quarterback, depending on what happens.
Every family member knows. Every family member knows of mine. Do not bring that bull in my God's dang house with my name on it, talking about it's a gift. You just bought yourself a gift, or you just bought me some toilet paper, because I am not using that jersey. I
wore that jersey once and only once.
Where is that jersey, JC?
In a box
I actually went in my closet looking for it because I believe I still have it, but I believe it got put away in like I have like some vacuum sealed bags, so I'm pretty sure it got vacuum sealed because I could not find it in my closet.
All right, so you got to find it this week. You got to find it for next week and wear it.
It got vacuumed. Oh no, babe! Look, it's all shredded. The vacuum cleaner did it.
Listen, I feel bad because my face when I was given the gift the first time was like a.
Is this for me?
Hell, like, and I was like I thought it was because I thought it was just like a joke, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, all right, whatever. Like Brett Favre's killing it for me right now. All right, and then it was just like, oh no, yeah, we're going to the Bears Vikings game, and I'm like, oh, I know where this is going.
The only one I wouldn't do is if I was gifted a White Sox jersey. I would never put that on my body ever.
That's the thing is like if it were a Packers jersey, I probably definitely would not have done it. But it was like, all right, it's the Vikings.
We're taking over the North and we're not giving it back. But yeah, we want to wear Vikings jerseys. Come on, man.
I don't
Listen,
know.
you do what you have to do.
I was just saying, hey, brother, I was with you. If you didn't, you was trying for the first time, you didn't, and then it was going that direction. You go ahead, you put that jersey on. I'm with you. But you should have went with that vacuum story the first time.
Hey, I just saw Steven's significant other walk past in the background.
Yeah.
Let's ask her what her response would be if Steven did not wear the jersey.
You want to?
Yes.
No, let's not.
Let's do it. I want to
Let's
know
say
from
we did and don't do
from
it.
a female perspective, would she be
They have a
completely
question for
like?
You know what? This is how we know you guys don't know. This is not working out.
Oh.
No, it's like,
So
don't do it.
JC has a question. So he said, if you bought me a sports jersey for an opposite team, let's say, for example, you bought me a Detroit Pistons jersey because you're like the Pistons too. Would you be offended if I didn't wear it and we went to the game?
No, because I would never entertain buying that.
Smart girl.
Smart.
Same.
Smart. Okay.
Girl.
See, that's why I'm not afraid to ask her, because I know she's going to be on the same page as me.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, she knows her sports.
Okay, fair enough. She was gonna scare me from it. Like, no, you gotta wear it.
Now JC is like, oh, I feel bad.
I wouldn't even wear that shit to bed.
I would have been like, oh, I framed it.
I wouldn't even put it on the dog. Like,
No, I would. I would.
I'm
I would
sorry.
entertain that.
You guys started this, bringing all this aggression out. I had the flu 2 weeks ago, and I got to deal with this crap.
Like I said, if she bought me a White Sox jersey, which I know she never would, I honestly would say I can't wear that.
I will openly admit, like, my mom is a White Sox fan. My sister is a White Sox fan. They're all White Sox fans. And if I went to a game and they were like, well, you know what, if you lose and I lose a bet, then okay, I would wear it. That's the only time I would do it because it's family. But otherwise than that, just to wear it, nah, man.
Jose hasn't even worn his Cubs hat yet.
I gotta
or
be
a
deaf-minded.
jersey.
It doesn't fit. It's a 7/1/4. I'm a 7/3 at this point.
All I know is, also, if you listen to No on the Weekend, I asked Jose if he wanted to make another bet on the White Sox, and he said he's going to think about it. Because I want another $200. Well, I want another chance to win $200.
Yeah,
I got him. I let him off easy with taking me out to.
If the Cubs win the series, the little series or whatever, he buys a Cubs jersey. If they win, I buy him a White Sox jersey of his choice. It can be old school, new school, whatever.
I'm not taking that bet.
I'm okay with it.
I mean,
well, then that means you're not in FanDuel enough. You get out of here. You can mute your mic.
It's okay. What do you want me? It's Jose who's the one who didn't do the $200 bet.
Jose would bet something meaningful. I don't think he's going to shut out some money. So he already lost the money. We can do jerseys, hats, whatever, gloves.
So I lost
for JC.
I lost the bet at the beginning, or whatever. I said at the beginning of last year, and he was right. We had a bunch of injuries, and we shit the bed, and we lost. He gave me an out. I took the out, and the out was I take him out to dinner. So we took him out to dinner at this barbecue spot. He got to choose whatever he wanted.
Okay,
but he chose what he chose.
The bet's paid.
The bet is paid. The bet is paid.
Yeah, I'm asking. I want another one.
Oh, he wants another one. Come on, Jose.
We'll come up with another. We'll come up with another one. We'll come up. I say the Cubs have to win 90 games. How about that?
Cubs win 90?
Yeah. The Cubs have to win 90 games.
They ain't winning 90 games.
Breaking news. Connor Bedard scores.
Of course.
I got to think about that one. I gotta
Blackhawks
do
are
my
now losing 3-5.
Oh, 3-5. Well, that's not bad.
They like them.
Wait, let's go back to this 90 game stuff, man.
I gotta, just do my math, my algorithm.
Don't defer. The season's coming. You can't defer.
So, I'm not gonna defer. I'm gonna I will make my answer next week on the show. How about that?
Right. Sounds good.
We'll do that.
I'll put a jersey on it. Like, hey, the Cubs will win 85 games. I won't say 90. I'll say they'll win 85.
We'll do the opposite. He'll make the bet, and I have to adjust it. So we'll do that.
I was talking about me.
Speaking of jerseys, before we close out, speaking of jerseys, The Nike
Oh,
is in
that's right.
charge of the jerseys. Oh my God, have they ruined MLB jerseys this year with the bigger letters and the curvature of the name in the
It's
back?
not bigger letters; it's smaller.
I haven't seen them.
On some jerseys, it's bigger, or some jerseys it's smaller. Just like no consistency.
Put them up. I gotta see them. I want to see these jerseys.
No, you don't want to see these jerseys.
No,
no. But post it for people to say, hey, do you guys actually digging this or what? You know, they look like garbage.
And they're more expensive too. That's the kicker.
Well,
they say they're dry wick and they're really, up there, but I think they're just poorly made. I don't. It's just the lettering.
This is not a Minnesota jersey. We're good. I mean,
no, I'm not. I think the jerseys are going for 140 now, and I'm not doing that for a jersey that looks not great. It's like if I took all the printing stuff that JC does and he lets me play with it, and then that's what you get. That's essentially what it is.
I gotta see him. Because I'm getting blind. Maybe the bigger letters will help me.
No, and they're actually I don't know. The ones I've seen are small letters, so I don't know.
Catered to blind people. Let me see.
It's gonna have Braille on for you.
Okay, we're not watching the Echo series here. Or
another
Daredevil.
stirring the pot question. How did we feel about the LED basketball court for the
I like it.
I think for the exhibition part of it, it's fine. Obviously, they're not going to do it for the actual game.
I like it.
I think eventually it will.
I think they have to come up with a surface that is conducive to.
They won't do it. Yeah. They won't do it because, and I'll tell you why. Because it's distracting to the players. So for an exhibition game, it's fine. Or not even the exhibition. They didn't even do it for the exhibition game. They did it for the events. But they're not going to do it. And I think they had a problem with the Lakers when they did their play-in tournament crap that they did, and I still hate it. When they did that, they did the black on black with the floors or whatever. They were arguing about that. So they will never do that in a live game. I don't ever see that. The over-under on that is under.
I'm just saying, like, it might be 10 years from now or something like that. But I could definitely see something like that happening where, like, a circle shows up on the floor and it's worth a 4 point, whatever, it might change up the game or, and like I said, 10, 20 years from now, and we'll be old grouches being like, they still don't play defense.
Dude, it was like 390 something points. Look, my thing, and I saw the question on there where, I think Eddie said it, or he was like, why does it matter? It's an exhibition game. Because you're supposed to represent the East. You're supposed to represent the West. Play some goddamn defense. What's going on?
Yeah.
400 points almost. That is stupid.
It is getting as bad as the NFL Pro Bowl where it just doesn't matter.
So why not put the incentive?
It's a Globetrotters game. It's,
no one's playing defense. Why don't put the incentive like baseball did? And I first did not like it, but I applaud it because you're actually playing for something. So what? When you get to the finals, it doesn't matter who you are. You will have that home court advantage. Why not do that opposed to this garbage? So when you guys are telling me it's an exhibition game, they're getting paid for that exhibition game. So guess what? Why not play some defense and have some goddamn heart in it? Because last time we saw a good game was like 111 to 110. Back in the 90s. This is garbage. So I don't care if it's an exhibition game. You got people paying money to come see this. You're like, we want to see a good game, fought game against the all-stars. You guys are just chucking up shots from fucking half. Sorry. It's just bad. It's bad basketball. Don't care what anybody says. It's bad. I don't care what anybody says.
I thought offense makes people happy. So home runs, slam dunks, those kind of things.
Yeah, but
when it's earned.
At what cost? Like
when it's earned.
When basketball is no longer basketball,
but then there's injuries, and if someone has a season-ending injury, I think
don't play.
I'm
not saying you got to be Caruso out there. I'm just saying,
don't play.
Like I say, just stand in front of a guy,
Or just if you're shaking and baking and you break his ankles,
like you're taught back in the day, like put your hand up, like in the guy's vision.
Yeah.
You know,
But then you're
Something.
taking money away from charities. Every point that they scored was for
Man,
charity.
you know what?
Listen.
See, come on, man. Where's
Monster.
that
No, I'm
mute
just kidding.
button?
No.
Invest in the mute button.
so
Charities.
one thing
Ruffles already giving money away. They're fine. The kids are getting fed.
instead of having like home court advantage, something that would interest me is like whatever conference wins, like they get an extra ball in the lottery.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like for the top pick.
That's pretty cool. I dig that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
I like that. Put that in the chat because everyone's blowing that up, talking about it's just a whatever game. I'm like, I don't care about that, man. You're supposed to be the best of the best. Do something. Because in the regular games, you ain't scored 400 points.
Although if you're in like the Eastern Conference, you might want to let the Western Conference win so that, you know, the teams in your conference aren't getting the better picks. But, you know, to me, yeah, like incentivizing like actually playing the game and
home court advantage is the best then because
like I said, like don't get me wrong, everybody wants to see some, you know, alley oops and you know slam dunks and some crazy stuff
when it's earned.
But like I said, you know, if
JC falls, if I break your ankles, JC,
I didn't watch it.
If I break JC's ankles and I dunk on JC, it's 5'4" me, 5'3", whatever, and I'm dunking on JC, everyone be, oh, he earned that. But if JC just backs up and like gives me a boost into the damn thing, ain't nobody gonna say yay to that. But that's what this generation does, you know. That
I mean, like,
I don't like.
I'll be honest with you, like the NFL, like it really does need to go to more of a skills challenge. And then, like I said, I didn't really watch the flag football game, but again, you don't want people getting hurt. And the NFL being such a high contact sport, like I understand making it a flag football game rather than like, hey, we're gonna pad up and hit each other and potentially like, you know, there's always risk for somebody goes too low and takes out somebody's knee. You know, somebody's ankle gets rolled up on. I mean, even in flag football, you know, a wide receiver going up for a ball in the end zone, yeah, you could still, you know, mess up your ankles and whatever, even still. But
they have the off season because they're not playing. They're not playing.
I like that you said that because you know what? When you're already building, you don't know what's going on in your knees. So let's say you're going from game to game to game, and it's bound to tear. So if it didn't tear yesterday, it's going to possibly tear today or in the next game.
Yeah, I mean, look, Drake Greenlaw just running onto the field in the Super Bowl tears his Achilles.
Thank you.
So, like I said, it can happen at any time. But you know, to me, it's one of those like I'm definitely a believer in like
that was scripted, by the way.
The All-Star game should have some sort of, you know, outcome towards something. You know, whether, like I said, whether or not be, hey, every team in the Eastern Conference gets one extra ball in the rotisserie, and you know, like I said, you know, giving you better odds for the number one pick, or you know, whatever it may be, you know, home field advantage, or and again, I know, you know, NFL it doesn't really matter because the All-Star game is literally the week before, you know, Super Bowl. Or, you know, hey, whatever conference wins, that team gets to make the choice for the coin flip. Or, you know, like something where it has an outcome. But, you know, that's just my opinion.
It's just that the younger generation thinks that, and I'll say it, that they think that this is the most athletic players that they've seen. So they like all this high offense octane crap. We're like, there's no competitive nature in this. They're just chucking up shots. And that goes back to the Bulls, right? They're all standing around chucking up shots. So what are we really watching? Like, what is this? You know? Right? Yeah, bigger letters. Like, this is
but I mean, that's also changing the game because like where D Rose used to like drive down the lane and just, I mean, crush people, like slam dunking, like just ferociously. Like now you watch everything's 3-pointers or nothing, you know, it's like there's no mid-range game anymore. Like DeRozan's like one of the last guys, in my opinion, playing a mid game. You know, it's either 3 or nothing, you know.
Yeah, the set shot doesn't exist anymore.
Which at the same time I complain because the Bulls have a garbage 3-point game as well. So, you know, I can't.
That's why I like Drummond. That's exactly why I like Drummond. He plays his position. You stay down low, you rebound, do all that stuff that that Vooch refuses to do, right? He stay up
Hurricanes
top in
beat the
threes.
Blackhawks
There you go.
6-3.
6-3. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
I'll do
all
some
right.
video. I'll do some video on Friday for you guys. So, and I'll showcase it on Monday.
If they score, do me a favor, record the horn.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Because we'll use that as a soundbite.
Okay.
Chelsea Dagger.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I think we covered everything in an hour and 20 minutes, and we'll be back next week. You ready, guys, for next week?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll make my bet. I'll pick it out, or I'll think about those.
This
That
week.
bet, so.
This guy. I'm trying to get through this week.
So
you got through it very well, Serge. And start now that you're feeling better, start sending some bets this way, man. Your boy needs to build up his bank account.
Wow. This has been one. It's been one. And
All
did you
right,
see me hit that East one?
Yeah, that was nice. All right, everybody, that is it for today. Thank you for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, and Grit Clothing Company. Go over there at gritclothingco.com and get your podcast t-shirt. Use our promo code TrueFan15 for the checkout for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Check out No Water on the Weekend. I was the guest this past week. You can find it on every single audio platform. You can follow Steve Batista on socials.
Sir. Yep. It's No One on the Weekend. Weekend is spelled WKND.
Yeah.
So
also, I just released my first episode of Intoxicated, where I interviewed Miguel Esparza.
I loved it.
Yeah, thank you.
I listened to it today on the drive to Arlington Heights.
I appreciate that. Miguel Esparza is the Spanish broadcaster for the Bulls, the Blackhawks, the Cubs, and the Bears. And he also does a little bit of Elvis singing. He's sang the national anthem for the Blackhawks and for the Cubs, and I think for the Bears too. It was a great interview. Really cool guy. I'm trying to get him on our podcast soon. So that should be fun. But if you have not checked it out, Intoxicated, it's on all audio networks and it's on YouTube.
Since I drive to work now, I might as well.
You got time to listen to stuff. That's right. All right. Shout out to Ronesh Panic, Serious Beats, and Custom Made for the beats. We're playing on the audio version of today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for your Bowman merch and gear. You can check us out at social media at TCSF Pod on the Twitter. I'm at Big Z _606 Media. We got JC at JC Dynasty Fantasy Football, just 2 F's at the end. And Stevie-B has already told you, No Water on the Weekend, WKND is how you spell weekend. You can reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. And you can find us on all of our social platforms, especially on Facebook, right? So, all right, y'all, for JC, Stevie-B, No Sweat, Serge, I am Big Z. We'll see you next time for episode 183. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.